This is week 4, my final week for home hemodialysis training. That's the clinic down there. And I have noticed some significant changes to how I feel. My energy levels have gone up, not to like a crazy degree or anything like that, but I find that I'm taking to doing home hemodialysis very well. Just the act of putting the machine together, taking it down, starting it, doing the dialysis, cannulating myself, sticking myself in the arm to start the treatment, stop the treatments, things like that. But there's still a long way that I have to go, and there's still a lot of things that I have to learn. But so far, I'm getting it. And it's not something that I'm, proud of. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not just like, yay, I can do this stuff. And, people keep telling me, how proud they are and how, I'm so brave and all this other stuff. And I just don't feel that way. I just don't feel that way about this. I've said this before in other videos. I have a very antagonistic relationship with dialysis, and it doesn't matter where I do it. It just feels like I'm just trading like one prison for another. You know what I mean? Like, even with the home hemodialysis, I still have to sit down for 3 hours. 4 if you count everything else I have to do, in between that, waiting to stop bleeding and all that other stuff. And it's still like a 4-hour treatment. Like, nothing's really changed except I'm just doing it at home, and I can do it whenever I want. Like, I will never view this as a positive thing, and I'll never be proud of myself for doing this or being able to do this. That's just how it is with me. That's just how it is. That's how it's always going to be. But I'm getting it down. I have been told that blood pressures have a tendency to even out when you're doing home hemodialysis. I haven't experienced that yet. I still have very high blood pressures, but my blood pressures haven't gone down like significantly during treatments to warrant me not using medications anymore, though my blood pressures do go down at the very end. It's called orthostatic hypertension, which can be very dangerous. So that's something that I still have to watch out for, but I've always heard that a lot of patients, once they start on home hemodialysis, they no longer need to take blood pressure medicine because the dialysis machine sort of evens all that out. Once again, I have not experienced that, but I have noticed a increase in energy levels, nothing to a high degree, but I have noticed it. I will say this, I've said this before and I'll say this again, this is not a fun experience. Some dude got in his truck, and it was like the loudest truck that I have ever heard in my life. But as I was saying before, like, this is not a fun experience for me. Like, you might ask 10 people and get 10 different opinions and 10 different perspectives. But for me, like, this is not an enjoyable experience for me. Like, going through this whole thing, even if I get a kidney, I'm going to have to take immunosuppressants for the rest of my life. So, like, this is it. Like, this is my life now. And there's nothing that I can really do about it. People keep giving me this superficial advice, or maybe, you could just get a part-time job. And it's like, nah, I don't want to look at the positives in this. No, I don't want to, look at the bright side. I don't want to see the silver lining. I don't want to get a second, I don't want to get a part-time job. I don't want to find the good in this. I don't want to do any of that. Like, I just want it to be over. Either get a kidney or pass away. Either way, I just want it to just be over. I've reached a breaking point with this where I am all out of energy to give this. And I just want some semblance of a normal life before I just run out of time to, be on the kidney transplant list and them being able to help me if the first kidney doesn't go right, or just whatever, before I run out of time in life. I just want to have a normal life before, anything more terrible than this happens. And that's something that anybody could understand. I would have more footage to show you guys, but here's the thing. I can't really film in there without them giving me some problems. So, and on top of that, I'm training. So I can't really just like film and make videos the way I want to. I can get just some scenery shots, but other than that, all I can really do is do videos like this where I'm just talking into the camera. I won't be able to really show any like training or any of that stuff until I get home and I'm able to do it at home. That's what all of this is about. Me coming here, driving an hour away, 5 days a week to train for 4 weeks in order to be able to do dialysis at home on my own, by myself, with no assistance from the technicians. The home hemodialysis side is drastically different from the in-center. The in-center is fast-paced, go, 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 get them in, get them out. We don't care. We don't have time to talk to you. We don't have time to treat you like a human being or anything. This facility that I am going to right now for home hemo training, which is like right there, I'm in the back of the building right now filming this, is so much different. And the instructor that I have is so patient, and he is very understanding, and he understands that in order for me to be able to learn how to do this, he needs to show me and not berate me for making the slightest mistake or doing something wrong. So the environment on the home hemo side is very, very different. But it really comes down to your instructor. Your instructor can make the home hemodialysis training, easy, or they can make it difficult. Also wanted to make something clear. Listen, I am not just a miserable person. All right? Just because I dislike dialysis doesn't mean that there aren't other things in my life that I'm happy for. There are many things in my life that I am happy for and that I am proud about. It's just, I wish that I didn't have to do this. And it's not as simple as, you got to do it, so there ain't no point in just complaining about it. Well, listen, that's cool for other people. But like, dialysis is a big deal, and it negatively affects everybody, whether they want to admit it or not, or whether they want to complain about it or not. Listen, holding all those negative emotions inside is not a good thing, but pretending like everything is fine all the time is not a good thing either. Listen, dialysis has not been an easy transition for me. I hate the fact that I have to do this when I see other people in my age group doing far less for far more. And I got to do all of this. I got to work all these machines. I got to push all these buttons. I got to connect all these tubes, and I got to do all this stuff for 3 hours for 5 days a week just to stay alive, just to see another day. And admittedly, having to do all of this doesn't make me feel very blessed. You know, I don't feel like fate or fortune or whatever it is you want to call it has smiled on me, considering this is the situation that I'm in and this is what I have to do every single day, for the exception of Saturday and Sunday, to just try to live a life, let alone a good one. And where I'm at right now is just not a good place. It's just not a good place. Dialysis, for me, has been the worst thing that has ever happened to me because it's permanent. You know, it's not, well, you do this for about 6 months and then they just give you a kidney. Like, no, I'm looking at years. I'm looking at years of me having to do this, and years of me constantly in a state of, you know, being tired and never feeling completely well, and never having, you know, enough energy to do the things that I want to do. For me, just shutting up and just dealing with it is not dealing with it. That's the furthest thing from it. And I've said this before, and I've said this again, and I'll say it again. I did not need dialysis or any of this to happen to make me a better person. You know, as much as I hate this, I made an agreement with my mother to do this. Because if she wasn't around, I would not have taken myself through this. The only reason why I'm doing this is because she asked me to. There is nothing in this life currently that's going on with me that is worth me taking myself through this. You don't have to love or be deeply appreciative of dialysis or kidney disease. You don't have to do those things. You can do something that you hate because you have to do it. Well, I mean, I don't have to do it, but you know what I mean. Like, I am deeply resentful for where my life ended up, and it's not anybody's fault, you know, like, it's not my fault, it's not anybody's fault, you know, but as much as I hate this, I'm still doing it. I'm not proud of the fact that I have to do this or where my life has taken me, and, you know, I'm just doing it. No doubt, things would be so much easier if I didn't have to do dialysis. Accomplishing even small things would be so much easier if I didn't have to do dialysis. And I didn't have, you know, kidney disease. I didn't have to lean so heavily on a machine to keep me alive. And that's the reality of what dialysis is. Like, you can't live without it. It's not an opinion, it's fact. Without dialysis, you will die. But before I check out, I'm going to see how long this takes. You know, to see if these kidney transplant centers actually do care as much as they say they do, and they can give me a kidney before I'm too old for it to matter. So we're gonna see how long I can keep this agreement with my mother to continue to live on, you know, dragging myself through mud and barbed wire and razor blades just to see another, you know, blessed day that everybody keeps talking about. Because it's easy to have really good days when, you know, your health is not something that you have to worry about.